Hey guys, Boss and Ramos, and this Sunday, Super Wildcard weekend, Miami Dolphins will be traveling to Orchard Park to face the Buffalo Bills. January 15th, 1 o'clock p.m. Game will be televised on CBS nationally, so don't worry about, if you're in this area or whatever. It's playoffs, one game at a time, nationally televised. You got it, you don't worry. Um, you have to worry about is Dolphin season possibly ending here. The Miami Dolphins, gotta break it to you guys, not really favored to win this game. If you follow the Dolphins closely, you would know. But this is for more of the people who just, hey, Dolphins are in the playoffs, so it's good with them. Dolphins finished the season 9-8, got the 7th seed, squeaked their way in. Buffalo finished the season with a 13-3 record. It could be 14-3, it could be 13-4. Who knows? That game against Cincinnati obviously has been canceled, and they've just wiped it off the board. That being said, Buffalo is now the 2nd seed. So now the Dolphins are traveling to Buffalo. And third time's a charm. Maybe the Dolphins could get a big win here. I know they split the season series, but that was with Tua in there. Tua being in there is going to be a big difference. And unfortunately for the Miami Dolphins, he's not. And the hopes from Vegas and ESPN are obviously showing that, because right now, ESPN has the Dolphins at a 4% chance of winning the game, with the Buffalo Bills at a 96% chance. Not the best. I have the odds back there. I know they're very faint. I know it's going to be hard to read, so I'll just read it out to you guys. Buffalo is favored by 13.5 points on the spread. So minus 13.5 for Buffalo, plus 13.5 for Miami. Money line plus 650 for the Miami Dolphins, minus 1,000 for the Buffalo Bills, money line wise. Over under set at 43.5. Now, I'll go over the betting stuff with you guys real quick. I personally would take the Miami Dolphins plus 13.5 on the spread. Buffalo on the money line. Ooh. And then over under. That one's a tough one. I would go over, and it's going to be over by like 2 or 3 points. It's not going to be something that's excessively over, and it's not going to be you're going to be sweating it out if you take the over. But that would be my same game parlay for this one. As much as I would love for the Miami Dolphins to win, I don't think they do. But I think they at least cover the spread. I think it's a bit absurd in a playoff game. I understand you don't have the top 2 QBs for the Miami Dolphins, so I guess that goes into it. But this Miami Dolphins team, I don't think is going to be able to live with themselves if they lose by 14, right? So at least at the worst, it would be a 10-point loss, But we'll just have to see what happens there. There are a few injuries we have to go over, and we'll start off with the visiting team, which is the Miami Dolphins. And Miami Dolphins have Liam Eichenberg, offensive tackle. He's listed as out. Another guy confirmed out is Raheem Mostert, running back with his thumb injury. The status of his thumb injury is, for me, uncertain because I haven't looked too deep into it. All I know is that he was getting evaluated, and either he was getting the surgery done or they were evaluating what should they do. That's as far as I know. That was what I knew from Monday. I haven't really checked in on that because I knew he was going to be out, so I just back burner. We'll find out in the future. Tua is also confirmed out with his concussion protocol. There's hasn't been really any news on whether he's made progress or not. At the very best, Dolphins could possibly have him next week should they advance. That's very slim to none odds. And it's unfortunate to think that way, but gotta be a little bit realistic here. As much as I would love for the Miami Dolphins to win against Buffalo and fly to Kansas City and play the top seed in the entire NFL. Oh, well, not the entire NFL. I think maybe. I don't remember. Either way, top seed in the AFC. It'll be tough. The Dolphins have the toughest road. And is it real real that they could make it happen? Slightly, but they would need so many things to go their way. Okay, and then for the questionable guys, we have Brandon Shell, offensive tackle, out, questionable for knee injury. Taron Armstead, offensive tackle, questionable for toe injury. All these guys on the list all are questionable. Armstead has a toe, knee, pectoral, and something else. He has another injury. He's all banged up. Should have Tua been able to start this game. I think they kind of forced Taron Armstead to play it too. But now that he's, the future is uncertain with Tua being in there, don't rush this guy, especially there's been rumors about him considering retiring, all this stuff. Who knows? Just be safe. Try to keep this guy interested in playing for you guys, because otherwise it's not going to be good. Kendall Lamb, offensive tackle, questionable for ankle injury. Cedric Wilson Jr., hip groin injury. Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback, finger/knee injury. Alec Ingold with his hand injury. Same thing for Bradley Chubb, linebacker. He has a hand injury. And one thing I want to point out is that is just like in the past 2 weeks for the Miami Dolphins. When you look at the Buffalo Bills injuries, I mean, when you stack them up side by side to the Dolphins, their injuries are, I'd say, pretty bad. But at the same time, they have a lot less players like dinged and doinked all around here. Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle, is questionable for shoulder injury. Isaiah McKenzie, wide receiver, is questionable for hamstring injury. Everyone else is either on injury reserve or confirmed out. Micah Hyde on injury reserve with a neck injury. DeMar Hamlin, safeties, on injured reserve after being discharged from the hospital. Jamison Crowder is on injured reserve, wide receiver. He broke his ankle early on in the season. He's been practicing with the Bills, like doing little workouts on the side, but not really practicing with the team. But yeah, they have him on the 20-way practice window, and that was on the 11th, so he's about 3 days into that. So we'll see what happens. Von Miller, linebacker, on injured reserve with an ACL injury. AJ Espinoza, defensive end, is out with an ankle injury, but that's been since November 28th. We'll see what happens. I don't think anything changes for him. Jake Kumaro, wide receiver, on injured reserve with ankle injury, and then Tommy Doyle, offensive tackle, on injured reserve with a knee injury. So that right there was like literally what I just summed up for the Miami Dolphins in the past week. So the training staff has definitely got their hands full for the Miami Dolphins, because if I were to keep on, you have Myles Gaskin on injured reserve, Trey Flowers on injured reserve, Austin Jackson on injured reserve, Byron Jones out, hasn't played at all the entire season, Emmanuel Ogbah on injured reserve, Brandon Jones on injured reserve, Nick Needham on injured reserve, Keelan Carter on injured reserve, John Lovett on injured reserve, Adam Shaheen on injured reserve, True Williams on injured reserve. That's a lot of guys. Now, given half of those guys I mentioned, not crucial. Like the guys I would put on the crucial part, I would put Austin Jackson, Byron Jones, Emmanuel Ogbah, Brandon Jones, Nick Needham. And that's about it. Everyone else was more just filler, substitute type of guys. Second strings, third strings, all that stuff. So, not crucial, but definitely puts a damper on things. All right, let's talk about this game. 28 degrees is going to be an expected game time weather. Buffalo has been on a tear this year. I mean, obviously 13-3. I mean, that's no hard task, no easy task. Big loss to the Miami Dolphins early on the season. They also lost to the the New York Jets. And then, can you guys guess who the other loss was to? None other but than the Minnesota Vikings. And that was a crazy game. Crazy comeback by the Minnesota Vikings. Just pretty much a big collapse by Buffalo Bills, and especially in back-to-back weeks. Must have been a tough stretch for them. That's what really put the Dolphins in a position at that time in the season to be second seed, AFC East leader, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Now you see how it turned out. Bills still stayed on top, second seed overall, and the Miami Dolphins dropped all the way down to the seventh seed, crawling into the playoffs, barely, like just by the skin of their teeth. So how do these teams match up? Well, here how it will go. Quarterback, Buffalo Bills. Running back, I'd put it kind of at a tie. I think Buffalo has more depth right now at running back, but I'd put Jeff Wilson above either one of the running backs. So I would still put running back a tie. Wide receivers, Waddle and Hill, pretty nasty combo. Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs, pretty nasty combo. I put it at a tie. I put it at a tie. And like it could sway in either way. Right now, they have their starting QB, so I'd put it more closer to Buffalo. Let's see. Tight end, Dawson Knox, Mike Gesicki. Dawson Knox has been having a way better year. Defense, Buffalo Bills. Now you're starting to see why everything's going in the favor of Buffalo Bills in terms of gambling and matchup predictor, all that stuff. Dolphins don't give two dams about it. All right, this is what the Miami Dolphins need to do to win. Here are the keys to victory for the Miami Dolphins. First and foremost, run the hell out of the ball. I get it. We have Scotty Thompson play. And you want to give him a chance. I agree with that. Give him a chance. But you want to make it as easy as possible for him. If you can establish a pretty good running game against this Buffalo Bills defense, things will look better down the stretch of the game instead of just being pass happy. Like if you come out and have 3 straight passes in a row and for a 3 and out against this Buffalo Bills defense once again, like they did last time these two teams played, like that's not going to work. Okay, so run the ball. I understand Raheem Mostert's out. Jeff Wilson's going to be the lead back. Yep. Savon Ahmed going to be a second string back, and he's going to be getting a good portion of the workload. So really excited to see him get in, and hopefully he can handle his business well because Dolphins are going to rely on him very heavily. All right. Then, staying on the offensive side of the ball, make it easy for Skyler. Yep, you established running game. Great. Now, let's make quick, simple throws to the playmakers. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, even Mike Gesicki, get him involved. Trent Sherfield, haven't heard his name in a while, so I want to see him get a little bit more involved. When you can spread out the ball, even better. But get the ball in the playmakers' hands as fast as possible. Let them make a move. I'm not saying to do screens all the time, but a quick slant. Like let them get running. Stuff like that. So to make things a little bit easier for Skyler, because otherwise this Bills defense is going to eat him alive. On top of that, defensively, I know it sounds stupid, but it's very simple. Get to Josh Allen. Make him feel uncomfortable. Make him have pressure throwing the ball every time. If you're not going to bring him down, give him pressure. Because guess what? Pressure is going to result into mistakes. Mistakes, defense, capitalize. Get points defensively. This Dolphins defense is going to be one of the big difference makers in this game. If the Dolphins defense can pull off, getting turnovers, getting points off of turnovers, stuff like that, that will be huge for Miami. Forcing 3 and outs, huge. This is a tough Buffalo Bills offense to stop. It's going to be no small task for the Miami Dolphins defense. Stop them. But I think they have it in them. They just need to play their ball. Josh Boyer needs to call better defensive plays, because if you're sending 8 guys almost every play or dropping everyone back super far and only rushing 3 guys and Josh Allen all day, can't be doing that either. Needs to have great defensive calling, and this game is going to be in the hands of the defense. As much as I said the offense has control of it, no. It is 100% the defense. If the defense doesn't come out and perform, there's no chance. There's no chance. The defense needs to play really well for the Miami Dolphins to have a good chance. In terms of rankings and all that stuff, Dolphins defense has been horrible this season. In terms of actual play, like you're watching the game, close game, Dolphins need to stop. Defense, more often than not, has been able to bail them out. But here we are. Super Wildcard Sunday. As much as I would love for the Dolphins to move on, it's probably not a realistic thing that's going to happen. But one can only wish, one can only dream. And that's my dream. Hopefully the Dolphins could advance. I picked them in the game picks. If you guys haven't seen that video, check it out yet. But yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And one can only dream. So, first time in the postseason for the last 6 years. And it's all going to come down to 60 minutes of football and who comes out on top against the divisional rival. So this is a huge game for the Miami Dolphins. And without Tua being in there, it's very unfortunate, because the whole season built up around, is Tua the guy? Is Tua going to be able to get a Tyreek? Blah, blah, blah. He proved everyone wrong. And what happened? Boom, he starts getting these concussions. Bearing those things not happening, we could be talking about an MVP quarterback. One of the top seeds in the AFC. I wouldn't say that they win the division, and I wouldn't say that they got the number 1 seed, but they would be one of the top teams in the AFC. So there's a lot of things that unfortunately didn't go the Dolphins' way, and there were a good amount of things that did go their way. So you made the postseason, but at what cost? Hopefully the Miami Dolphins can win. If they win, hopefully Tua can play next Sunday, because Kansas City, another strong offensive team. Defense is no slouch either. They're the reason they're the number 1 seed. And last but not least, I would love to go to Kansas City. See Tyreek play against his former team. That would be so sick in the playoffs. But that's pretty much it. Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills, 1 o'clock p.m. CBS. Better watch it. I'll be watching. And probably be crying at the end of it. Who knows? I'll catch you guys after tomorrow's game in the next one. Peace.